Okay, this is the perfect PEE and symbolism within the Hunger Games. And remember, we need that last E 3 times. We looked at this passage in class. I'll just read it to you. My breath makes small white clouds as it hits the air. It's as cold as a November night at home, one where I've slipped into the woods, lantern in hand, to join Gail at some pre-arranged place, where we'll sit bundled together, sipping herb tea from metal flasks, wrapped in quilting, hoping game will pass our way as the morning comes on. Oh, Gail, I think, if only you had my back now. What we're looking at here is the lantern and how she slipped into the woods with it. And then we're also going to have a look at how she's bundled together with Gail. Okay, so our quote is going to be from here to here. And this is the PEE. So I've started off by saying, Collins uses symbols of light and warmth to show the hope which is now firmly associated with Katniss's character. So let's just skip back a slide. Collins uses symbols of light and warmth. So light is the lantern and warmth is them bundled together to show the hope which is now firmly associated with Katniss's character, and the support of Gail, which forms a foundation of her courage. Now I've mentioned Gail in a nod to the novel as a whole, so you're contextualising your knowledge of the text, which is great. Then we get to the example, so our quote. The quote that supports this is one where I've slipped into the woods, lantern in hand, to join Gail at some pre-arranged place where we'll sit bundled together. Then we've got 3 parts to our last E, our explanation. So we're doing this times 3. We've got 3 points to make from that meaty quote. The first one is the lantern that acts as a guide and a beacon of light against the darkness of the woods symbolises the protagonist's position as a dystopian figure of heroic proportions, even when surrounded by the oppression of the capital. So what I've done here is I've gone with this lantern being a symbol of a guide and a beacon of light. Okay, but what I've done is I've mirrored that against, or I've contrasted it against the darkness of the woods, and then I've brought it to the wider themes of the novel. So I've joined the protagonist's position, so that's Katniss's position, as a dystopian figure. So we're using that word dystopian to show that we understand the genre of the novel. A dystopian figure of heroic proportions, because she's our heroine, remember. And even when surrounded by the oppression of the capital. So Katniss, the protagonist, is the light, and the oppression is the dark of the woods. So the capital becomes the dark of the woods. Our second point, the lantern is also representative of the poverty of the district dwellers, in contrast to the bright lights and engineered glamour of the capital. And what we discussed in class was that a lantern is, Collins has used the word lantern, she hasn't used the word torch. A lantern is an old-fashioned way of lighting your way through a forest or a dark woods, and you'd associate it with maybe an oil-burning lamp, or perhaps even a candle in a glass case. So it shows that the person carrying it, in what we'd see as fairly modern or futuristic even setting, is that it's showing their poverty by carrying it. Whereas when we go to the capital, there are bright lights, there are TV shows, there's lots of fantastic glamour. They can even set clothes on fire if they wish. And then we get to our third point. The imagery of Gail and Katniss bundled together promotes love, comfort and unity. Do you see I've used a list of 3 there? Love, comfort and unity, which compounds my point. These are symbolic not only of the relationship between Katniss and Gail, and here is where we link it to the wider themes again, but of the simplistic yet strong union of the battered district people in their battle against the selfish, individualistic nature of capital citizens and the game makers themselves. So we've contrasted the bundled togetherness of Katniss and Gale against the in it to win it, winner takes all mentality of the capital. And I've just compounded that at the end to say that it defies the core message of the games, one of winner takes all. This kind of answer, this PEE paragraph, would get you top marks because you have shown wider contextual comprehension. You have picked quite a good quote, and you have not only used symbolism within it, but you've discussed the language used, okay, which is really important. So I hope that helps you.